Pokemon needs no introduction, and you are most likely familiar with all these challenges people have been doing with these games. There have been a lot of them over the years, and I always wanted to try one. In this video I'll show you my adventure of an idea I've had for a very long time, but oddly enough, isn't really that popular. It combines a hardcore version of Nuzlocking with an idea of building a new team every gym, and I was really hyped for this idea due to the amount of puzzle elements it would introduce. And Generation 1 of Pokemon sounds like the best start. The game I chose for this run was Pokemon Blue. So let's quickly run through all the rules I'm gonna use in this challenge. I can only catch one Pokemon per route. And according to my calculations, there are 53 unique locations I can get encounters in. If a Pokemon faints, it's considered dead and I must release it. And I mean, release it. Not storing it inside the PC, I must click that release button. Nickname all caught Pokemon. This is just for creating closer bonds with them, so if I have to release them, it's gonna hurt more. I'm not able to access my bag during battles, so no potions, no full heals, no full restores, no revives, no anything. I can't overlevel the next gym leader's highest Pokemon level, so it means I put level caps and I need to watch out for them. I can't use glitches, and I mean those big game-breaking glitches like missing no, because Gen 1 is glitched in every corner. I can't avoid minor glitches, so only major glitches are banned. Species clause. I'm forbidden from catching two Pokemon of the same evolutionary family. For example, if I catch a Pidgey in one route, I cannot catch Pidgeotto anywhere else. I need to skip and then re-roll for another encounter. If a route ends up consisting only repeated Pokemon, it automatically gets excluded from possible locations. I can't use legendaries just to make it extra spicy, but I think using pseudo-legendaries is fair game. I'm not sure really, let me know what do you think. And of course, the biggest rule that started the whole idea. After every gym battle, I need to release everybody I used and build an entirely new team. We start our adventure in Pallet Town. No surprises or twists here. After we get caught by Professor Oak, we need to make our first important decision, choosing the right starter. It may seem like a no-brainer at first, but given all the rules and things we need to watch out for, Bulbasaur is the right choice, which I'm going to explain in a few minutes. I picked Bulbasaur and nickname it Worry Seed, cause I'm really worried about this challenge. The rival fight was actually pretty intense. We chip ourselves down to very last bits of HP, but at the very end I failed to take the Charmander down and it finishes me off with a critical hit. I think it's okay if we lose to the first rival fight. We haven't made any progress, so resetting wouldn't make any difference. After the fight, I'm heading to Viridian City to receive Oak's parcel. And until I buy Pokeballs, it's okay to skip encounters for now. After delivering the parcel to Professor Oak and receiving the Pokédex, I headed back to Viridian City, where I could finally buy Pokeballs. And thus officially starting the challenge. I traverse back to Route 1 and my encounter there is a Rattata. I successfully catch it and nickname it Chunk. Next up I visited Route 22, where I encountered a Spearow. I was really hoping for a Nidoran actually, but I'm gonna take it anyway, since it's gonna be very useful very soon. I called it Carrot. On Route 2, due to the species clause, I can only re-roll the encounter to catch a Pidgey, which I do so and name it Snowflake. I also enter Viridian Forest, where I stumbled upon a Kakuna, which I also caught and named Coco. Then I trained a little bit in the forest and decided to face the first opponent. And this is where we finally get face to face with our biggest problem, Weedle. It may seem pretty garbage at first, but if you don't have a super effective move, it'll become a huge issue. Especially because of the poison sting, and believe me, it will poison you. This is what I was talking earlier about Bulbasaur being the best choice. Squirtle would have been a great matchup to Brock, but it will be vulnerable to poison. Bulbasaur not only can defeat Brock easily, but also serves as a shield against getting poisoned in the forest. This way you can save on buying antidotes at the Pokemon. And this is exactly why I wanted to catch a Nidoran on Route 22, to have a backup poison type. However, catching a Spearow gives me access to super effective Peck against the bug types. And no, Pidgey doesn't learn any flying moves until level 28. If we take a look at all available Pokemon, we really have limited choices. So the best and most consistent pick is to just use Bulbasaur. Everything else is really gonna struggle against the poison types or Brock. So in all the remaining battles in the forest, I used the combination of Bulbasaur's Leech Seed and Spearow's Peck to defeat all the trainers. Though sometimes I was too greedy and wanted more experience for Spearow, only to end up getting poisoned. Remember, Weedle will poison you. I didn't buy any antidotes earlier, so with all the limited resources, I just barely had enough steps to go back to the Pokemon Center and heal Spearow. There's no point of risking it anymore. I'll just stock up on antidotes. If I lost that Spearow there, it could potentially mean a reset. So I made it past Viridian Forest, leveled up Bulbasaur to the level cap, and brought it to the first gym challenge. So my team for the first gym challenge is... Bulbasaur! But first I make sure to deposit everyone else, so it really is my only Pokemon in the battle. And the battle itself went really quickly. I just used a Vine Whip against the Geodude and Vine Whip against Onix, and that's it! It is a bit underwhelming, but unfortunately most of the Gen 1 Pokemon and trainers are pushovers. However, because I'm really paranoid of losing the challenge, I'm always gonna overprepare. So, as I stated within my rule set, I need to release all the Pokemon I used in the gym challenge, so... bye bye Bulbasaur! We must continue the challenge without you. I withdrew everybody except Coco for now from the PC. But due to their low levels, I had to do my first of many leveling up sessions. I went back to Route 2 and did just that. After a few minutes on the speed up and couple close calls, I did manage to get everybody to level 9. It was time to face Route 3. And for all the trainers, I had a very simple strategy. Use a status move like Sand Attack or Tail Whip, and then hit hard with a Stab Quick Attack, or Peck for bug types. Then proceed to run to the Pokemon Center and heal. With this teamwork, I was easily able to beat everybody with no issues. Upon beating all the trainers and healing up, I decided to stock up on some more items before entering Mount Moon, mainly Pokeballs, potions and escape rope. After eliminating all repeat encounters, the only thing I can catch here is a Jigglypuff, which I catch and name Helium. My encounter for Mount Moon is a Geodude, which is also an easy catch. Its nickname will be Quartz. And for the most part, Mount Moon was smooth sailing, with my strategy of carefully beating everybody up and then immediately running to Pokemon Center to heal. That is, until I met this Rocket Grunt and his Raticate. At level 16 it already has access to Hyper Fang, considering that it is a stab and 80 base power, along with Raticate 81 base attack stat, makes it, at this stage of the game, a very dangerous weapon. You see, before every battle, I used online sources of upcoming trainers to better prepare myself, and I knew this Raticate will be a menace. After leveling up the party members, the battle starts with Snowflake the Pidgey using a Sand Attack on the Raticate, but that was after it used a Tail Whip. I was debating if I should switch now or use another Sand Attack, since a Hyper Fang would most certainly obliterate the Pidgey, but I decided to be greedy and go for another Sand Attack. Thankfully the Raticate used Tail Whip and it was definitely time to switch. I bring in the Spearow and started to lower its attack with Growl and defense with Leer. Most of its attacks are missing, but it landed a Tail Whip, so it was time to attack. I switch into Rattata and it misses the Hyper Fang. I then attack with my own Hyper Fang and I finish it off with a Quick Attack. I pretty much had to level up all of my party members to have a better chance. And if you are wondering, why don't I just skip him? I would miss out on some money and experience, which for this challenge is pretty important. Next, I beat up the other Rocket Ground, come back to the Pokemon Center for a heal, I grind for a tiny bit more and defeat the Fossil Super Nerd without a bigger issue. I pick up the Helix Fossil because, let's be honest, Omanite is just so cute. Just look at it! So I finally exit Mount Moon and arrive at Cerulean. First thing I do is go back to Route 4, where my encounter is a Sandshrew. I catch it, but... I forgot to nickname it. Let's just pretend I named it Sandshrew, I guess. But the rival fight is up ahead, so I wanted to grind up a few more levels, and I almost lost Spearow in the process. I went a bit too fast. In the meantime, Pidgey evolved into Pidgeotto. With the team at a higher level, it was time to face the rival. Again, pretty easy battle. Do you remember when I was scared of that Rocket Ground and his Raticate? Now guess what? I possess this power. With Hyper Fang on my Rattata, I'm able to just rip apart everything on the Nugget Bridge, especially that in the meantime it evolves into my own Raticate. After defeating everybody, I am trying to catch this Metapod on Route 24, but it just refuses to get into these balls. Which I ultimately run out of, making this my first failed encounter. I go buy more Pokeballs and try again on Route 25. My catching luck makes up for the failed Metapod, because I catch an Abra first try. This is absolutely huge, because I want some Pokemon to go to the Pokemon League at the very end, and this is one of the candidates. I tried to name it 5000 IQ, but I realized there's no 5 in Generation 1, so I had to substitute it with S. So pretend this is 5000 IQ and not so IQ. I make my way to Bill's house and let me tell you, Hyper Fang Raticate absolutely shreds everything on its way. Like, I had to stop because I hit the level cap and let the others fight, evolving Spearow into Fearow in the meantime. After obtaining the ticket, I went back to Cerulean. I healed up and cleared the mandatory gym trainer. Now it was time to pick who was gonna fight Misty, and I'm pretty worried about that Starmie. Sandshrew and Geodude cannot participate for obvious reasons, and I didn't feel like leveling up the Jigglypuff, so for the sake of the emotions for this video, I pick Snowflake and Chunk to fight. Because I got pretty attached to them already. And since Fearow is better than Pidgeot, it's better to keep Carrot for now. I bring the two to Misty's and the battle starts. Staryu is able to chip away a good portion of my health, and Starmie's War Gun is powerful. I am glad I brought two Pokemon to this fight, since I clearly wouldn't be able to solo it. After Starmie finished Pidgeotto, I send Raticate to finish the Starmie. With Cascade Badge acquired, it's time to say goodbye. Both of them get immediately released after I come back to the Pokemon Center. Not gonna lie, losing Raticate hurts a bit. It's really good in the early stage, but this is the fun part of the challenge after all. After doing some shopping and withdrawing Sandshrew for my further adventure, I take care of the Rocket Grunt and head south to Route 5, where I catch a Meowth and call it lucky. Then on the other side of the underground path on Route 6, my encounter is a Bellsprout, which I also catch and named Pear. I easily clear up all the trainers on this route and move on to the next part of the game. In Diglett's cave, I catch Diglett and call it Soil, and on Route 11 my encounter is a Drowsy, better known on my team as Daydream. Since I needed experience for new members of my team, next thing I started doing was switch training while beating every single NPC aboard the Saint Anne. And constantly going back to deposit those items because I was running out of space. And I wanted to pick up as much as I can. In the meantime, I also obtained the old rod and fished up a Magikarp, which I also caught and named it Roar. Unfortunately, Carrot the Fearow has hit the level cap, which meant I had to box it for now. Since the other members of my team were still very weak, I couldn't continue training on the Saint Anne, and I had to have a long grinding session on Route 6. Thankfully, with the speed up, it didn't take long to level up the 3. And I managed to evolve Bellsprout into Weepinbell and Sandshrew into Sandslash. Now that my Pokemon are stronger, and me having confidence, I can continue switch training by clearing up the rest of the trainers on the SSN with a few close calls. Mainly this Rattata almost one-shots Diglett with Hyper Fang. Now that I'm really paranoid, for the upcoming rival fight, I decided to withdraw Carrot for power and Coco as a sacrifice switch-in, which thankfully wasn't needed since Sandslash swept everything with critical hit slashes. It probably means all that grinding up was a bit of an overkill, but better safe than sorry. Now that we have obtained Cut, we faced next problem. HMs. Not only Diglett cannot learn Cut until Pokemon Yellow, I really wanted to sweep the gym with only Diglett. It means I am forced to bring a second Pokemon into the gym. And since, again, I have limited options who to sacrifice, I decided to go with arguably the weakest Pokemon right now, Beedrill, who at this stage is still a level 4 Kakuna. So it meant another session of switch training, but once it evolved at level 10, I immediately taught it Cut, and just for the memes, I went all the way up to level 20 just to learn Twin Needle. It's probably the only chance for me to use Twin Needle in Gen 1 anyway, and who knows, maybe Diglett will need some help. With just one more level for extra measure, we were ready to battle Lieutenant Surge, which was just a Diglett sweep. Pretty uneventful, and I lost one Cut user, so it only makes this challenge more suspenseful. Goodbye Coco and Soil, you've only been on the team for a short bit, but you have done your jobs. Immediately after the gym, we ran into the same HM problem we just had. Since I can't access Route 9 without cutting, I guess Sandslash having it will be okay for now. Defeating trainers here required the same strategy like everything to this point. Carefully defeating everybody and running back to the Pokemon Center or healing with potions. As well as doing some switch training, which had its close calls. Like here, where I almost lost Meowth to a Beedrill of all things. But I wanted to use Meowth's payday just for some extra change. I also realized I never got the bicycle, so I took care of that as well. And then just finished battling everybody on Route 9. Also, fun fact, since I've caught everything that can appear on this route, it means this is the first one where I cannot catch anything new. And it will happen a few more times, so that's another limiter for this challenge. We arrive at Rock Tunnel, where my next catch is a Zubat named Blues, and I immediately started switch training it a bit against all the trainers inside and some wild encounters. which totally made me forget about the hiker with self-destructing Geodude. At this point, I'm really scared I need to sack something, and because of the upcoming gyms, I thought Weeping Bell was the compromise. However, it lived! On 1 HP remaining! It toughened it out so I wouldn't feel sad. But immediately after, I rushed back to the Pokemart to stock up on potions and repels. Because I didn't want to risk more deaths, and I know there will be more exploding hikers up ahead. Which were a breeze this time because Weeping Bell was up front. With few more uneventful battles, I easily made it to Lavender Town. To level up before Erika's gym, I cleared every single trainer on Route 8, giving every member of my team some experience points. With all that money I was earning, it was a good time to buy some seemingly random items like escape ropes and burn heals. But you never know if you're gonna use them, especially in this challenge. With last trainer being beaten, I decided to take a look into the grass, where I met Vulpix, successfully catching it and nicknaming Spookbaker, then made it to Celadon City. Now in this city, there's plenty of Pokemon that can be my encounter. There are all the potential fishing encounters, all the Game Corner prizes, and there's also that gift Eevee that can evolve into 3 different forms. And not gonna lie, I initially wanted a Dragonite. So I really did try to earn money, which quickly turned out to be a massive pain. Trying those slot machines was not working out, and using Payday would just take forever. I was just not making enough money to buy Dratini, so I gave up and picked up the gift Eevee instead. Next up on the list was beating the Rocket Hideout, which I could also use to switch train. And not gonna lie, the hideout was pretty rough. I had a lot of close calls and was at the verge of losing the challenge. Good thing I was buying all those healing items so I could go further. But eventually I just had to use escape rope a few times and heal in the center. However, I eventually made it to Giovanni, and the battle went smoothly. Sylph was mine. I also noticed Zubat needed just a bit more experience to evolve, so I trained it a little bit more on Route 7. Taking a quick look at Route 16 also gave me a new team member, Trinity the Doduo, and I also picked up HM for Fly. Unfortunately, we have a small HM problem again. I don't really have anything else to sacrifice to teach Cut to. Since I needed to enter the gym, I can't venture too far into the region because the trainers will be just too strong and I will hit level caps. I need to make a decision now. That Beedrill would have been really good here. I should have used Sandslash for the electric gym, because Beedrill's Twin Needle would have been 4 times super effective against the grass and poison types. That's how it works in Gen 1. I had to choose between Sandslash and Weeping Bell. I decided to go with Sandslash because I still got a Geodude in the PC in case I needed a ground type. So the final team I decided to go with was Blues, Golbat who has access to 4 times effective Leech Life, Carrot the Fearow, who will be outclassed by Dodrio very soon, and Sandslash just to use Cut. After leveling up slightly more off of trainers, I faced Erika. Another battle that was a no-brainer. Fearow could probably sweep her, but it was funny to use Leech Life. Although I was kinda scared of the Sleep Powder and Paralysis shenanigans. So bringing 3 Pokemon wasn't the dumbest idea. Rainbow Badge was mine, and more friends had to go. So here is something interesting about the next 2 level caps of Koga and Sabrina. They are the exact same, level 43. So technically it doesn't matter which one will be first, but since Psychic type is the second best type in the game and Poison is one of the worst, Koga will be next to battle. So I quickly assembled a new team, mainly just added Drowsy for the Poison types, and taught Fly to Doduo. Next up ahead was Pokemon Tower, and I completely forgot there was a rival battle waiting there. I ran back immediately to Route 7 and grinded a few more levels to evolve Meowth into Persian and evolve Doduo into Dodrio. I also bought a drink for the guard and accessed Saffron City. Going back to my rival, now that I am a much higher level than him, beating him was just a brief moment. My encounter in the tower is a Ghastly, and it's another successful catch. I call it Grim. Getting rid of all the channelers was easy enough, as well as the Marowak near the top. Rocket Grunts posed very little challenge as well. With Pokeflute obtained after buying a few Great Balls, Snorlax blocking the way on Route 12 was mine. I caught it and named Potato Chip. I know it's a corn chip, but those are my favorites, so I bought them. As well as I stopped by this house to get a Super Rod. This, as well as upcoming routes, have tons of trainers, so I need to be prepared for all eventualities. However, for now I decided to be more focused on catching. I used the super rod on Route 13, because the grass doesn't offer anything good, and I fished up a Goldine, which I nicknamed Paprika. After only battling mandatory trainers, I made my way to Route 14, where I ended up successfully catching a Venonat, better known in my team as Fuzzy. On Route 15, my encounter is a Ditto, which is definitely an oddity. After arriving to Fuchsia City, I immediately went to see the Safari Zone, where I ran into a Nidorina, who unfortunately ran away. My dreams of getting anything from the Nidoran family were destroyed. I did manage to get a gold teeth and survey gem though. To clear up as many encounter places as possible, I caught some water Pokemon for the upcoming gyms, also being careful which fishing rods I use to avoid potential repeats. I went to Viridian City and fished with a good rod in the little pond. The encounter there is a Poliwag, who I called Bubbles. Returning back to Fuchsia City, I did the same thing there, where I fished up a Krabby with a super rod, who I named Julian. Lastly, south of Fuchsia on Route 19, my fishing encounter is a Shelder, who got the nickname Ricky, also caught with a super rod. Sadly, due to my species clause, catching on Route 17 and 18 is impossible. No, there is still Tentacool, and if you really want to stretch it, Lickitung. If I only had Slowbro. When I was looking at the encounter tables, I only looked on the grass, not on the water. It was finally time to get back to leveling up. I withdrew the Geodude from the PC cause I thought it and Hypno would be the best for the Poison Gym. I cleared up the Snorlax blocking the path to the cycling road and started a long and slow grind. The trainers on the cycling road are much tougher. Many times I barely avoided a disaster. It was mostly just healing up after every trainer, carefully thinking which move should I make next, and just getting lucky in general. I was eventually done with the cycling road and gained plenty of levels. However, that was not enough. I returned back to the eastern routes and continued the grind there, still being very careful about the trainers and all the switch training management. Drowsy eventually hit level 26 and evolved into Hypno. And then some massive BS happened against the junior trainer. And everything because of her Clefairy. Man, those things are really from hell. It immediately went for Minimize and put my Pokemon to sleep. And when I couldn't hit it, the Metronome started picking OP moves. First it used Reflect, then it picked Hyper Beam, then just maxed out its evasion by repeatedly using Minimize. Almost killed the Weepinbell, and then used more random moves. Like, what the heck is all this? I'm really scared of losing the challenge to this Clefairy. But eventually Dodrio hits the Drill Peck and beats the junior trainer. After this battle I finished practically every single available trainer east of Fuchsia, so I went to the gym to battle everybody there, with Geodude evolving into Graveler in the meantime. Unfortunately, tragedy struck shortly after, because I thought Pear would be able to defeat that Sandslash. However, now it lived on 1 HP and slashed Pear with a critical hit. And honestly, this is the first death that really hurt me in this challenge. Pear was with me for a long time, but this is why I made those rules, for harder goodbyes. I moved on and cleared out all the remaining trainers on the map. Then I went to the grass and leveled Graveler and Hypno up big time. With the help of a friend, I was also able to evolve Graveler into Golem. My team consisting of 2 Pokemon was ready to face Koga. From my previous experience, I knew I didn't need to go all the way to the level cap, so I kept them at level 40 and 41. Which turned out to be just over-preparing anyway, since Hypno just swept. And this is what I get for being paranoid. I lost Golem, but I feel like I would lose the gym if I didn't bring it in. Having access to Surf now, I could finally finish catching the rest of the available Pokemon. Not until I realized, again, I didn't have anyone to cut, with Julian being the only one who can learn it. I surfed to the power plant, where I encounter a Voltorb, who I nicknamed Ball, which I forgot could also appear on Route 10, rendering that one unable to get anything, and me losing a potential Magneton. Going back to Cerulean City, I used a Super Rod and got a Psyduck. I named it Quaxley. South of Pallet Town on Route 21, I swim around for a bit to get a Tentacool, who is named Tentabruh. On Cinnabar Island, I withdrew the Helix fossil from my PC and got it revived into Omanite, whose nickname is Plutonium. In the Cinnabar Mansion, I stumble across a Grimer, but I mess up nicknaming it and get sent straight to the PC. Inside Seafoam Islands, I get myself a Seal, who I nicknamed Bounce, and fishing on Route 20 gave me a Horsey, who is definitely not a dragon in this generation. I withdrew some of the newly acquired water types, and it's time to get through Silphgo. And once again, this required tons of cautiousness. Switch training and constant healing went pretty smoothly for the most part, especially when electrodes blow up in your face. until I felt a little bit too confident with defeating this Electrode and ended up losing my own Voltorb. With Trinity getting way too close to hitting the level cap, I had to be much more careful with using it. I decided to finally give Rival a fight, but just before that I replaced some of the better mons with trash mons as potential sacrifices. I also used one of the rare candies I found to elevate Bounce to a higher level, thus obtaining a Dugong. Beating the Rival went really smoothly, and the reward for doing so was obtaining a Lapras, who I named Cookie. Persian and Dugong take care of Giovanni's team. It went surprisingly well for Dugong being much lower level. With nothing more to do in Saffron, the last obstacle was defeating Sabrina. And I didn't feel like battling all the trainers, so I just skipped them. Because Psychic types are so overpowered, I needed something fast and hard-hitting to guarantee my victory. I just had to take Pear and Trinity, two Pokemon that I really created a close bond with, and were already at a high level. This challenge really gets harder emotionally. With biting and screeching at the enemies, Persian was able to solo the fight. It might have looked easy, but if Kadabra or Alakazam actually hit me with psychic moves, the story would have been different. Releasing Lucky and Trinity were definitely one of the hardest right now. But at least I went and picked up the TM for Psychic. After withdrawing some of the water types, it was time to prepare for the upcoming Blaine fight. All of my Pokemon were too low level unfortunately, so I slowly but surely took down every single trainer on the water routes. But first I had to get there. Unfortunately, I lost all of my HM Fly users. I had to take the long route from Saffron, and I almost lost Dugong to Tentacruel. After I was done beating all the swimmers, it was time to get through the Cinnabar Mansion, which was a good place to train my water types, due to the amount of fire Pokemon. But once again, the trainers' Pokemon got much scarier, especially that the amount of electric types had increased. This Magneton really scared me because I was low health on Dugong. This place was getting too dangerous. I got very lucky many times in this place, where I almost died, but Generation 1 AI did something silly and I lived. Or where this Muk almost killed me due to RNG BS. Unfortunately, I lost the Tentabra to a Ponyta. I nearly ran out of my healing items, but I eventually got to the secret key and escape roped out of this place, and said goodbye to the Tentabra. After buying some more items, I then moved to Blaine's gym and defeat everyone in it. Unfortunately, Goldeen still didn't have high enough level, so I went to the ocean and had another long leveling up session. It eventually evolved into Seeking, and learned Waterfall at level 39. I trained it all the way to the level cap to guarantee a victory. And sure enough, it absolutely washed Blaine out of the picture. Besides, it was like the only opportunity for me to use Waterfall in Gen 1, so that's cool. I bid farewell to Seeking and Dugong and withdraw Ricky, Julian and Bubbles. Water Park boys are now ready to rumble. I teach all of them Surf and go back to Viridian City. But they are all low level, so it's another grinding session, right? Nah, I just hacked in rare candies. Seriously, at this point I was so sick of training on wild Pokemon. If hacking rare candies is just to skip the mindless grinding, I think that's okay, but let me know what you think. And I think it's more in the spirit of Water Park boys. So I level up all of them and then went to Celadon department store to buy 2 water stones to evolve Poliwhirl and Shelder. Ricky, Bubbles and Julian absolutely demolished all the trainers inside the gym. I didn't even level up all the way to the level cap because I know that's gonna be unnecessary. As well as Giovanni was absolutely no issue, although I missed all 5 guillotines in a row. Another difficult goodbye later, it was finally time to plan one last team I'm gonna face the Elite Four with. Throughout this whole playthrough, I intentionally wasn't using some of the best and my favorite Pokemon just so I can take them to the Pokemon League. The final Pokemon I decided to go with were Plutonium the Omastar, 5000 IQ the Alakazam, Pizza the Jolteon, Potato Chip the Snorlax, Grim the Gengar, Spookbaker the Ninetales. After withdrawing all of them from my PC, it was time for the last preparing session. I hacked in even more rare candies and started leveling up all the way to level 49. I thought that was good enough for the rest of the game. I was also careful to teach them all the best possible movesets, bought Thunderstone and Firestone for evolutions, and traded with my friend to get Gengar and Alakazam. I also tidied up on my inventory and stocked up on healing items, as well as used some of the vitamins I've picked up. Battling the second to last rival was easy enough. None of his Pokemon really posed a threat to my team members. Maybe besides his Alakazam, who used Reflect and that lowered my special. With a bit of luck, I managed to beat him. I go through the badge jack and enter Victory Road. While I can't encounter anything on Route 23, again that's not true because there's still Slowbro. Again I only looked on the grass, not on the water. Hey, that Slowbro could have been traded for Lickitung. My encounter inside the cave is Onyx. Yeah, we can just skip it at this point. I quickly cleared the puzzles inside Victory Road and just skipped as many trainers as possible because I don't need them anymore. And quickly arrived at the Pokemon League. This is it, the ending of the challenge. I quickly shop for more healing items to use in between battles, and I'm really confident going inside, so let's see how it went. Okay, so here we are, in the Elite 4. I'm doing a live commentary, which I don't really do, like, never, so that might be a bit rough. Anyway, I lead with Jolteon against Dugong. I'm just 4 levels behind, and as you can see, that was a pretty easy sweep with Thunderbolt. Another Thunderbolt on Cloyster, which has, like, no special. Slowbro. I Thunder Wave it first. Water Gun. Thankfully the AI has, like, no common sense. It uses random moves. So I'm mostly gonna be fine. Especially that, yeah, I just hit another level. Okay, I changed to a fire type. Rightfully so. 7 levels behind on Jinx. Yeah, I'm taking no risks. Yeah, Lapras, I'm gonna swap to Grim. Okay. So I'm recording this commentary like a bit after the playthrough, so I don't really remember what happened all that well. I try to put it to sleep. Presumably so it can't hit me hard with stab attacks. I'm healing with Dream Eater, okay. Psychic. Yeah, at this point, Lapras is dead. Potion does nothing. And that's Lorelei. Very easy. Naturally, I'm gonna heal. Although, do I need to heal? I don't really need to heal. Next is Bruno. Am I not gonna heal? I didn't heal, yeah. You don't really need to heal before Bruno. Also, I'm recording at twice the speed, because I thought, well, that's gonna be more convenient. I have the animations on, because they're cool. So I'm leading with Omastar. Why am I switching? Like, Hitmonchan can't do anything. Yeah, counter. It's not gonna do anything. Psychic. Yeah, they just have no chance. A Ghost type with a Psychic attack. And Onyx. Bruno is so bad. It's like the weakest Elite 4 member of all time. Although I know Aaron from Diamond and Pearl also is pretty weak with those bug types. And like Gen 6. Oh, Fissure Mist. That could have been scary. Yeah, Gen 6 Elite 4 members are pushovers as well. Yeah, that's Bruno. Didn't really need to say anything. Okay, next is Agatha. She can be pretty scary. And here are all the graves, or everybody who we lost along the way. I didn't heal, wow. I have a lot of confidence. Gengar versus Gengar. I'm faster, not him. And I have Psychic move. Yeah, Confuse Ray, this is where it gets scary. Thankfully I hit with Hypnosis. Oh, it woke up turn 1, cool. And I hit Hypnosis second time in a row, cool. And I heal. Golbat. Yeah, Agatha, the poison type Elite 4 member. She can swap her Pokemon, which is cool. Blizzard. Yeah, at this point I just need to hit them hard with something. They can't really do a lot to me. See, I can sponge those Nightshades. Like it's nothing. Yeah, see, that's really annoying sometimes.
She can just use Confuse Ray and I'll be screwed, like here, see? This is potentially scary. Golbat. Haze. A move that you never see. Supersonic, see? Just so much confusion. That's what actually... Oh, Golbat is dead. It's frozen. I can just use Spike Cannon. Yeah, she should have a full heal for this, or fullest, or... So yeah, as I was saying, she can be challenging because of the Confuse Rays and Hypnosis. The so-called Agatha Lottery. Ooh, and I'm 7 levels behind now. And I'm paralyzed. Yeah, the difficulty gets higher now. But yeah. Oh, there's one more. And I'm massively behind. Jolteon almost dies. Wow, that was risky. What am I gonna do? Yeah, this is kinda awkward. Alakazam. Yeah. Thankfully, I paralyzed the Gengar. Because that was pretty much the only thing I could do. And there's Agatha. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Now I need to heal definitely. And restore some of my PP, right? To by musiał wyciąć. To się wytnie. Yeah. I didn't heal all the way up. Wow. Going to Lance unless I'm gonna heal now. Yeah, I'm looking at the PP of the moves. Wow. I didn't restore them. Yeah, leading with Jolteon to get rid of Gyarados ASAP. Dragonair. No, I'm just hitting with Thunderbolt. Wow. Critical hit. But it resists. I guess I was too scared of switching Omastar, which am I gonna do now? Yes. So it's time for Blizzard. Yeah, Dragon Rage does nothing. Yeah, I can't really decide what to do. I'm gonna head with Flamethrower. No, Confuse Ray. Wow, I'm really scared of this Dragonair. But Lance has much scary Pokemon after this. I'm just coming with Fire Spin, huh? Wow. Why did I do that? I guess I'm saving Blizzards for Dragonite. What am I gonna do against Aerodactyl? Yeah, I guess just Thunderbolt. Aerodactyl can't really do much, besides like Hyper Beam. Which thankfully didn't use. Yeah. I need to kinda hope that they don't use their most powerful moves. Yeah, paralyze the Dragonite. That was the correct thing to do. I think that's why I brought, and that's why I saved Jolteon, just specifically to paralyze the Dragonite. Okay, and now here comes the champion. Now I need to heal all the way up, right? All the moves. Yeah, I just must. And I'm also really massively underleveled now. He's in his 60s. I'm just barely at level 50. Yeah, I'm looking at the PP of the moves. Yeah, I'm probably pretty pretty nervous right now. But his Pokemon really are not that scary, except Alakazam. Like Pidgeot is like the second worst bird after Farfetch'd from fully evolved ones. Yeah, the Alakazam. 10 levels ahead of me. Yeah, it must get paralyzed. Oh, that does nothing. He used Reflect. I pretty much have to lower his special. Oh yeah, there it is. That probably saved me. Not gonna lie. Really not that great at sponging the special moves. I should have used Amnesia. Like, I have Amnesia, but no special moves, but that could protect me from Alakazam's move, yeah. Horn Drill missed, that's huge. Although, yeah, no, he's probably faster and has higher level. I don't know. Yeah, here, now too. Yeah, this could potentially mess me up. Executor, Blizzard. Omastar is thankfully equipped for these two. Well, I say that as I switch. Well, critical hit Stomp, that's pretty scary. But other than that, Executor has no moves, so... Yeah, there's the Gyarados. Hydro Pump, that's scary. Yeah. Missed the Thunderbolt earlier. And his final Pokemon. And there we go. There we have it. Deathless Elite Four in my Nuzlocke.
And so this is it, right? Well, to me it was kind of unsatisfying. Throughout this whole video, it turned out I was always just paranoid and overprepared all the time. In Generation 1, you just don't need to level up that much to beat the opponents. So how about, just for fun, rematching the Elite Four at lower levels? Thankfully, I made a backup save before the battles just for that reason, so I opened the save file editor and changed all the levels to 42, and the only difference in movesets is Jolteon losing Pin Missile. Time for the rematch, while being like 15 levels behind.
Okay, so here we are again, a bit faster this time. Again, leading with Jolteon, level 42, I'm like massively behind now, like I'm already 12 levels behind. But I still do good damage to it. And I'm outspeeding. Oh, I didn't one-shot Cloyster this time. Oh, yeah, this is getting spicy already. He got a critical hit. That could have been bad. Why did I use Blizzard? And he trapped me. See, we already have a massive difference. Cloyster is a problem now. Why am I using special physical moves against it? He's walling me. No pun intended. He is a wall. I'm just switching. There's no point of switching really. Oh, and Omastar almost dies. Wow. Okay. There's no safe switching in Generation 1 really, because they pick moves after I do. But yeah, half of my team is really messed up now. Slobo is paralyzed. I didn't notice that, or did I forget? I tried to put it to sleep. Anyway, here's Jinx. Yeah, pretty much I have to rely on status effects. Okay, I managed to beat it as well. And now the Lapras. Yeah. They are much more powerful than me now. Yeah, I gotta heal big time. But will Bruno pose a challenge at this harder mode? Nah, it's not gonna. It's still Bruno. Although Hitmonchan could have freezed me. But I could probably beat Bruno at level 20 or something. Yeah, Machamp is the only one that could potentially be scary if it landed a submission and if I didn't have a ghost type or anything resisting. Yeah, Agatha. Yeah, Agatha wasn't a quick battle, even if I had higher levels. So now, yeah, I'm kind of paranoid. Okay, critical hit. That was huge. That Gengar could have messed me up really badly. Yeah, even Haunter survives the Psychic from Alakazam. Yeah, Golbat is pretty annoying. And I'm just hurting myself in confusion. Okay, I get one more level. Yeah, but confused by Golbat, really annoying. I can't really afford tanking more hits, because it could potentially be very bad for me. And yeah, the Gengar at level 60. 17 levels ahead of me. Good thing it doesn't have Psychic, so I could put it to sleep. Yeah, that was really scary. Much more fun. Okay, I healed everybody up. Going to lands. Remember, their levels are only going up. Mine, not necessarily. Anyway, put Jolteon up front. It doesn't one-shot Gyarados, wow. But it almost one-shots me. Okay, Dragon Rage is really good. Critical hit Body Slam. Critical hit on Snorlax, wow. Hyper Beam. Oh, if it hit the Hyper Beam, Snorlax would have been done for. So I'm abusing the bad AI. Tricked Dragonair to use a Psychic move against the Poison type. You know how it works. Okay, Aerodactyl didn't kill me. Dragonite. Yeah, that was pretty scary. Yeah, I had to prepare before sending Omastar in. Okay, but it decided not to attack me. Lol. Okay, now the champion. Which has like 65 level Pokemon? I forgot, let's see. So far, no deaths. Pretty good. Pidgeot. Even Pidgeot is scary at this point. Yeah, level 61. But it threw. Oh my god, the Alakazam. Again, just trying to lower its special. No, sorry, paralyzed it. It lowered my special. Wow. Yeah, now I'm using Amnesia to survive Psychic. You know, unless it gets a critical hit, Snorlax actually died. Wow. But that's not the canon ending. I mean, it doesn't really matter. Executor. Again, very bad move pool, but it can flinch with Stomp. That would have been annoying. and yeah, it just can put me to sleep for eternity. Gyarados, yeah, I need to bring in Jolteon. Oh, Gengar dies. Wow. Yeah, that was pretty much the only way I could safely bring Jolteon. Wow, 21 levels ahead of me. Fire Blast. Okay, Jolteon survived and could finish it off. Yeah.
That was much more exciting and much more difficult. However, still not impossible or anything. This challenge shows how Generation 1 is just exploitable and easy. But I'm afraid with every next generation, this sort of challenge will become much more difficult. And hey, if you want me to make more videos like this, let me know in the comments. Also like and subscribe. That's all from me for now. Thank you very much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video and see you!